I know I literally just filmed my 2021 bullet journal flip through last week as of the day you're watching this, but I thought it would be a good idea to also upload a video where I ranked all of my 2021 bullet journal themes because I've seen a lot of other bullet journal creators do this before and I think it's a really cute idea. So here we are. I honestly can't tell if this is cute or if it's just fuzzy. I have my computer down here on the table and I have 4 categories that I'm going to be ranking my bullet journals in. The top one is Chef's Kiss, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's just the best theme that I think I've made all year. The next one down is Would Swipe Right. It's a pretty good theme, you know, I like it. I probably would recreate it, but it's not my absolute favorite. The next one down is So That Happened, which basically means, it happened. Okay, and then the last one is the tier, which that's basically where my least favorite themes of the year go. I don't hate any theme that I did this year, but there are a couple of bullet journal themes that were definitely not my fave, so that would go in the last tier. Before we get too far into the video, if you haven't already, don't forget to go down and hit that subscribe button. Next week, I'm posting my 2022 bullet journal setup, and I'm super excited for it, so if you want to see some new spreads for the new year, subscribe and you won't miss it. All right, let's get to sorting. So the first one here is January, and that was my magic theme inspired by Art and Foxes. I really liked this theme and it was really exciting for me because it was the first theme of the year and I was excited to start using my new original bullet journal. So I'm actually going to put this in Would Swipe Right because I think it's really cute and I love a lot of the weekly spreads in this setup, but it's not my absolute favorite, and the fact that it's a recreation means it's not really as personal to me as some of the ones that I created myself. However, moving on to February of 2021, this would definitely be one of my favorite themes of the year. One of my favorite things to learn about is Greek mythology and Greek myths, and actually my favorite piece of art is Cupid and Psyche, that statue, and I drew that on the cover page for February. You know, it's like a romance month, and I think it's just so pretty. Way to toot my own horn, but this was just one of my favorite themes and all of the spreads turned out really delicate and beautiful, I think, so it's definitely going to be in Chef's Kiss. Okay, so the next theme that I'm going to be sorting is March, and this was my eucalyptus minimal theme, maybe. I mentioned this in my last video, but I tried to do minimalism a lot this year and it never really worked out very well because I love filling a spread. I don't like white space very much. This theme kind of went away from the minimalism as the weekly spreads went on. However, I do think my original setup was really pretty and very open and I really liked it. So it's really hard. I think this is also gonna go in a Would Swipe Right. It's almost a Chef's Kiss. In fact, I probably put it before January because I think it was better, but not quite Chef's Kiss level, I don't think. So the next theme is April, and I'm already gonna know straight from the bat that this is going to go in the So That Happened section. I've tried multiple times to do scrapbooking in my bullet journal. I talk about this all the time. The thing is, I love scrapbooking. I think it's such a really fun thing to do. I love making collages, but when it's an entire theme based off of scrapbooking, I have a hard time making weekly spreads because of just lack of ephemera and paper or just lack of time to make the spreads themselves. So this is gonna go in the So That Happened tier because I like how the cover page turned out, but the weekly spreads just honestly went downhill. You guys saw in my flip through was not my favorite. So that goes in the 3rd tier. Next is May, which I actually loved May 2021. I was branching out and I'd used a lot of pastel and muted color tones so far that year, so I decided it was a great time to just bring out the neons because neon colors are great for spring apparently. And so I used a lot of bright colors and a lot of black and made a graffiti theme. Honestly, I think it turned out better than I thought it would in my head. I was so nervous filming this video, but I think that the outcome actually surprised me and I'll have to recreate it again. Shockingly, would put this in the Chef's Kiss section. Okay, next is June 2021, and this was my birthday month, but unfortunately it was not my favorite theme. I feel like June spreads for me, and the same thing happened in 2020, because it's my birthday month, I feel like I have to make it the most amazing spread ever, but I always put too much pressure on myself and the spreads don't turn out as well as I'd want them to. So June was the pastel clouds theme, but it just came out looking a little bit like a children's book, and the coloring, although I tried to do shading, it just didn't work very well. So this is probably gonna go into the woods. I think it's gonna go on the So That Happened here. I mean, it kind of breaks my heart because it's my birthday month. I don't know, it just didn't turn out how I envisioned in my head, and that's always a little disappointing. So definitely not one of my favorite themes from the year. Okay, next is July, and I was feeling very summery this month, and July is one of the hardest months for me to figure out bullet journal themes for personally, because I feel like nothing really works for July except for Under the Sea themes, but I don't really want to do an Under the Sea theme because everyone and their grandma has done an Under the Sea theme, so it's always hard for me to think of ideas, but I did a poppies theme inspired by Little Olive bullet journal. Again, because it's a recreated theme, it's not like my most personal theme of all time. I'm not saying that like the original pose is not beautiful, but just because it didn't come from my brain, it's probably not as personal, but I still really like this cover spread. I think the colors are so vibrant, so it's probably going to go in Wood Swipe Right. Okay, next is August, and this has to be my favorite theme from the entire year. And I hate to say it, it goes in front of February, but it absolutely does. Basically, my plan for that month was to not use line art at all. I tried to just use colors, big fonts, and a lot of doodles to make a spread seem full without line art. Did not expect it to be as good as I thought it was going to come out. The retro titles was not what I had planned to use, but looking back at it and the weekly spreads and the colors that were just so good for summer, and the primary colors too that I'd always wanted to try, and the calendar spread, like that layout just turned out so good. So I don't know, it's my favorite. It's one of my favorite videos I've ever made. It has to be a Chef's Kiss. So absolutely my favorite theme of the year. Okay, so next we get into the fall months, which starts out with September, obviously. I talked about this last video. I don't really want to repeat myself, but this was when my art block started. So these bullet journal themes kind of went downhill a little bit. Basically, I tried to do scrapbooking again, which you already know is going to be a bad thing.
But I didn't even have a doodle plan, so when I started making weekly spreads, I didn't have time for scrapbooking. I had nothing else to draw, so I just used colors. And I loved the colors that were in this theme, and I thought that was really cute, but the spreads just weren't inspiring me, and it was just so tough for me to actually want to make weekly spreads and do bullet journaling. And I think this is around the time where I started using Notion as well, which tells you that I wasn't really getting inspired by bullet journals like I usually would have.
I have to put September in the tier. That's so funny to say. It's the first one going down there, so it's a little lonely down in that bottom section. Moving on to October, and this was also an interesting theme because I loved the cover page so much. I found this picture on Pinterest, but past the cover page, the calendar page was a mess. The weekly spreads were a mess. Again, right smack dab in the middle of my bullet journal block that I just didn't really want to create, and nothing was really going well. And I don't want to put two after another in the tier. That just feels like I'm only putting them there because I was uninspired and they weren't really that bad of a theme. Hi, Editing Sophie here to say the reason I'm putting them in the bottom tier is because those months were like the hardest months for me to bullet journal from the entire year, and so I just have some bad memories attached to them, but I still like the concept of both themes, so I'm not saying they're terrible, I just have to put them in the bottom tier. Yeah, hope that cleared things up. Loving this angle, by the way. It's gotta go in the tier as well. One after another, dang. I'm so cruel. Okay, so now we're going on to November. November was my Up theme. Literally, I was watching the beginning of Up for inspiration for creating this theme as I was sketching the spreads, and I literally watched 5 minutes into it and I was already crying. But I think the spreads turned out really cute. The weekly spreads were a little iffy, and my main problem with it was because I used a lot of rainbow colors for the balloons instead of sticking with the vintagey maroons and yellows like I did on the cover page. But I did really love this theme, and I've always wanted to do some kind of Disney theme, and I definitely will do more in the future because it was really fun just recreating drawings that I didn't really have to come up with in my head. So I probably put this in the Wood Swipe Right section because I would swipe right. It's a pretty good theme. And then last is December 2021, which is the theme that I'm currently using in my bullet journal. I went and saw Alegria by Cirque du Soleil at the end of November and was really inspired to make this theme. And honestly, I love how most of the doodles came out. One spread, the calendar spread with the habit tracker on the end, which by the way, I brought back trackers this month, which is so exciting. That layout makes me so happy. I don't know why, but it's just so cute. My problem is that I wanted to create some sort of masquerade ball-esque, really detail-oriented theme, and when I was sketching it, I was focusing more on the drawings, that all the boxes seemed pretty boring, and so I liked the concept, but I feel like it could have been executed better, so it's probably going to go in the So That Happens section. So yeah, I think that's it. This is my full setup. I'm actually going to move a couple around at the end now that I can see all of them. So if we start at the bottom, I think September was not as good as October, so I'm gonna switch those around. I think December was better than June, so I'm going to move that one in front. And then I think I'd put in July before January. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it like that. I think that's the full list. So in order from bottom to top, it goes September, October, April, June, December, November, January, July, March, May, February, and August. Here is the full list. of my favorite themes. I'm sure some of you are going to disagree with me. So if you have a new list, a new order, if you don't think that my favorite's your favorite, if you actually liked my least favorite themes, whatever, comment your thoughts down below. And comment what your favorite bullet journal theme from your bullet journal was, because I know a lot of you guys bullet journal and I want to hear about your themes. So yeah, I think that's going to be it with this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you haven't already, don't forget to go down and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. I'm posting my 2022 bullet journal setup next year. Oh wait, I have the bullet journal right here. You guys get a sneak peek of what it looks like because you got to this point in the video. Don't say I don't do anything for you. My new journal is... Okay, there you go. That's it. That is your sneak peek. So I already sketched out all of my spread ideas and I'm really looking forward to sketching them out. And I'm going to be making a new sticker sheet on my Etsy shop for the spread specifically. That's really exciting. Also, if you missed my last week's video, my flip through, I mentioned there that I had posted a new set of stickers on my Etsy shop for Christmas. They're called the Candlelight Christmas Sticker Bundle. They have 3 different sheets, lots of cool stuff going on over there on my Etsy shop and my Instagram if you want to follow me there. I'll be posting a lot more bullet journal things. I honestly don't know what else to say. I'm just rambling at this point. Basically, everything's linked down below as always. And I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you in my next video next week. Toodles!